Hey guys, VideoJames, and today we're going to be looking at how to use Beautifly. I know I said I'd do a lot more, you guys related stuff that you guys influenced, but usually no one really puts in influence over these videos, except for one person actually did a long time ago, and that's really the only time it's ever happened. But today, we're going to be looking at Beautifly, and Beautifly actually does get a lot of hate, that a lot of the time you don't really see Beautifly being used as much, because a lot of people don't see its potential. That a lot of people don't see that Beautifly can actually be used really well. So we see Beautifly bug flying, which means we do get the weakness to fire, electric, ice, and flying. Ironically, we got a weakness to ourselves. But we also get that 4 times weakness to rock, which is going to be a major problem, especially now, because we're seeing a lot more stuff like rock slide, and we are going to end up seeing dusk Lycanroc within this year, which could end up posing a serious threat to Beautifly, especially considering it's going to be a securely powerful rock type. Securely is not a word, I just made it up, it is now a word. But anyway, we do also get the resistances to grass and fighting, as well as an immunity to ground, and we only take half damage from bug, which means we are actually getting a decent amount of resistances for what we're getting in weaknesses, and then everything else is just normal damage. And then we see Beautifly's abilities, that we got Swarm when HP is below 1/3 maximum, which is basically every turn with the Beautifly. That the power of the bug moves is increased by 50%. And then we've got Rivalry. Attack and special attack is increased by 25 if the foe is the same gender. Attack and special attack is decreased by 25 when the foe is of the opposite gender. So it's kind of a chance game kind of ability. That if your opponent has the same gender, then you rolled the right die, or if your opponent has the different gender, then you rolled the wrong die. That's basically kind of a toss in the air, and it's actually a hidden ability for a lot of Pokemon. That a lot of Pokemon, especially Pokemon that have like dual evolution lines, stuff like Nidoran and Beautifly, stuff that has dual evolution lines actually gets Rivalry as an ability a lot of the time, and I think there are actually a few single evolution Pokemon that actually do get Rivalry as a regular ability. But moving on, yes, sorry, I'm still sick. My nose is trying to clog itself up right now. We see that Beautifly stats are actually not too terrible. That we got 100 in the special attack, 65 in the speed, unfortunately 50 in both defenses, meaning we're not really going to get anywhere, 70 in the attack, and then 60 in the HP. So that means Beautifly basically just going to be a special sweeper. That Beautifly not really got much potential in the way of tank, but there can be ways that it'll work out, and we'll get into that later. But moving on, and then moving over into Showdown, we see that Beautifly's first set is basically a Quiver Dance Focus Sash set with Swarm. So we see that Beautifly, it gets Quiver Dance, boosts our special attack, special defense, and speed all by one stage. And then we see Beautifly's speed and special attack are actually fairly decent. So we give it Quiver Dance, we give it the Focus Sash, so it takes that one hit and gets the Quiver Dance off. It's got the Swarm ability, meaning our Bug-type moves will be super powered after one hit. And then we just got Bug Buzz for the massive damage, plus a 90% power. Venoshock just to kind of cover those fairies now, because when you used to run Beautifly, it used to be all, like, Solar Beams and Thunderbolts, I think. And we also got Giga Drain just for that kind of health recovery, which I personally think Energy Ball would be a slight bit better, but Giga Drain does kind of work. That if your opponent has Stealth Rock set up, that you can take a little bit of health, so when you come in next turn, you won't instantly die. But I feel like Energy Ball would work kind of as well, because with Beautifly, you can really only set up once with Beautifly to where you'll get a win condition. That Beautifly is one of those Pokemon that can only work once, and get it set up off once, and then unless you have a bunch of Stealth Rocks behind you, it's going to be basically one-hit KO on Beautifly for like the rest of the turns. And if your opponent has Stealth Rock set up against you, unless you have over 50% health, then you're dead or alive either way. Mostly dead. But anyway, looking on into the HP, we got only a little bit of investment, but then we got the maxed out special attack with the maxed out speed and the timid nature. Now, you would think that running Modest on Beautifly would be bad, and you're right, because Beautifly does get low in the speed where it gets massive special attack, so running a timid nature actually does help it out a little better, although we're still not really going to be able to outspeed stuff like Greninja or Tapu Koko, that kind of stuff is still going to outspeed us, and stuff like Choice Scarf, Gardevoir, and Tapu Lele are definitely going to still outspeed us, and we'll kind of just get wrecked either way. But anyway, that's not really a concern for Beautifly. If it can just get that one-hit damage off, then it'll end up getting exactly what it needs to. And then moving on, we see we have a Choice Specs Beautifly set. And this one I also run Swarm, just because Rivalry is too much of a gamble for me to really think it has much use. That Rivalry kind of takes too much give and take for it to actually be beneficial. But we see this is a Choice Specs Beautifly set that we've got Silverwind, scummy bug move, by the way. So if you don't know what Silverwind is, it's basically an ancient power, but for bug types. That Silverwind's got the same attack power and accuracy of ancient power, but it's a bug type move, and it does the exact same thing as an effect. And then we see again, we got Venoshock just for coverage on those fairies, plus damage. Then we got Giga Drain just for that health recovery, because with this set, you kind of are wanting to get a little bit of health back. And then U-turn to kind of get out of situations where you don't want to be. And then we see we got maxed out HP on this Beautifly, maxed out special attack with the modest nature, and then just the rest of the investment in speed. That 1 point of speed could actually help you get where you need to against your opponent. And then the final Beautifly set, I know the final Beautifly set, it is actually it's a loved Pokemon, but it's a short-used Pokemon. It's short-lived. But we see that this Beautifly set is actually running a Z Crystal, which I don't actually see much use of very often, that a lot of times I try to find ways without Z Crystals, that basically if you're running a Z Crystal, you can find a way to use it on your own, just kind of make your strategy work even better. But anyway, we see we got a Bug and EMZ Beautifly with Stun Spore, Substitute, Morning Sun, and Silverwind, with 200 in the HP, 52 in the special attack, and then maxed out investment in speed with the Timid Nature. And then we also have the Swarm ability, again, not really running Rivalry, don't really see much use for it. But the idea behind this set is just to be a scummy little bug and get off the perfect combo. So the idea behind this set is you stun your opponent, make them slower than you Stun Spore, kind of get them to be slower than you, to where they won't really hit you as bad. Get Substitute set off, to where you can just hide behind a doll if they don't have a super effective move against you, and just be like, okay, I'm safe for a while. Morning Sun for that health recovery, be like, okay, I'm damaging myself. Probably going to be a good idea to heal up. And then we got Silverwind with the Buggy MZ, turning into Savage Spinout, and just making it an absolute terror if we do get the boosts off on Beautifly. And the idea behind this set, again, is a scummy Beautifly set, that you basically got just Stun Spore to slow your opponent down, and then Substitute and scummy Morning Sun, with the Silverwind being extra scum on top of the scum, just to end up finishing it off. Which is kind of sense, because it is a bug type after all. But anyway, that's going to be it for how to use Beautifly. Not really much to it. Again, it's a bug type, not really much to a lot of bug types. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. If you guys have any Pokemon you want to see me do videos on, let me know down in the description. And if you guys like this video, you can slap the like button as always, and I will see you guys later.